following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everybody, it's Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. Welcome back, everybody. Jada, you're like so tiny. You're like,
I know. I don't know what happened. You know what it is? It's because I moved my camera so that our guest, the way the screen will be up when our guest is here, my head wouldn't be cut off. That's why.
I was like, what happened? You're like this tiny little face in the corner.
But I'm barely 5'3" anyway. So
it's so teeny tiny.
I
love it. How are you?
I'm good. I'm like I was saying, I'm exhausted, but I'm here.
We're here. We're here. It's the holidays, folks, and we're tired. But we're here and we're doing this for all the people who need us to be here and who are excited for us to be here. Yes. And I love that. How's your week been?
Next week, actually,
I know
it has. I think that's why I'm so tired. It's been really crazy busy because of the holiday being next week. So a lot of my clients are traveling. So today actually was my last work day because everyone's traveling. So next week will be kind of light for me. But yeah, girl, I am exhausted. It's been a lot.
Too.
Well, I take on so many different energies and personalities because I talk to so many people in a day.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
I'm drained, girl. I'm drained. Tell me about you.
My microphone looks like a penis head today and it's just flopping over. And I was thinking, story of my life.
All right. As I spit out my Diet Coke. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Spit take number 1. I did. I started to tell you that I got a new deck of cards.
Yeah. And
they are the most incredible cards. They're called Tarot Original 1909. They were created back in the late 1800s, and I love them. And I've been doing reads, and I did the show, and I got paid to do reads for the first time in my life. That awesome. Felt really exciting. But I wanted to do this really quick because it is the holidays, and I wanted to be able to have this for people, especially the ones listening who come on each week. I did these manifesting kits.
Yeah, you talked about them a little bit last week.
And it got my label here. And inside is every single thing you need to do a manifest. And some of them have candles and twine and bay leaves and directions and all these things that you need to do these manifests. And I have 9 different kits. And I was going to do a special for anybody listening who comes today on the show, who wants to get a kit for the holidays or for the start of the new year, because the new year's the best time. Yes, I will do a general reading tonight. But I have 9 different kits, and they are with the discount for everybody. It's $12 for the kit that does not have the candle, because some don't need candles. And the ones with the candle, I'm going to discount it to $15, and I'm going to pay for the shipping.
Nice.
So really quick, I have any type of manifest that you want to tell me, I can create it for you. But the ones I have pre-made, if you want to purchase them, I can ship them out and get them to you before the new year or even before Christmas. But I have home protection. I have happiness manifest.
I love it.
I have good health. These are so cute. I have abundant money. I have debt free.
Ooh.
I have new start. I'm going to save the best one for last. I have live your perfect life. And I have soulmate or increase, abundant love. So I have 9 different kinds. If you want to choose from what I have, you can do that. Or if you have something specific in mind, send me an email to 50shadesofbullshit@gmail.com. And the shit is SHYT. And my microphone keeps falling. And I'll pay for the shipping, and I'll discount them to $12 and $15. So if someone wants one, just let me know, and I will send that over to you. And I don't know what.
Yeah, this is actually a really good time to manifest before 2025, and I cannot watch
really
you maneuver
is.
that like that.
I can't. Fucking microphone. Anyway, so yeah, this is gonna be cool. Yeah, and I was telling Jada right before the show start, when I was doing a read for a guy, his mom was coming through, and I could feel her and I could hear her, and she was like pressuring me to say something to him, and I was like, nope, not happening. Because it takes a lot out of me. It's very draining. And I was like, nope, it's not going to happen. But then I kept getting this really tight, intense pressure pain in my chest, and I couldn't take it anymore. And I said to the guy, hey, what did your mom die of that has to do with the chest? Like the chest area, because I have really intense pain right here. And he said, my mom died of breast cancer.
That's
And
so crazy.
I was like, and then I knew I needed to say it because my mom also died of cancer.
So you actually told him what you were. That's good.
I
That's
did.
what I was gonna say. Okay, good.
Yes. So I'll answer that in 1 second, Misty. So what I did is I did the read for him, and I told him what the message that his mother wanted me to say. And I'm crying the whole time.
Oh my
because
God.
I can feel her feeling so intensely, and I could feel his really intensely. And it was so much, but I have to say it was very powerful. And as I was telling it, the pain in my chest ebbed and went away. But the emotional side was really strong still. And I also have money magnet. I didn't. It was hiding. I also have money magnet. Anyway, I did the reading and the pain went away, and I was just sitting there crying as it was happening, and just tears were running down my face. And I just said to the guy, I said, I'm so sorry that I'm so emotional, but I cannot help it. It's so much feeling from her and from you that I can't hold it in, or it'll be really painful. And he's like, the minute you started crying and you said pain in your chest, I knew it was my mom. And it was really a magical moment. By the way, I will do a pull of a general card before we end today. Misty asked where to find a link. Misty, I don't have a link set up yet. I'm working on it. I am creating an Instagram for it, but it's a lot of work and I just haven't had the time. But this week I will be creating it. But if you want to see pictures or know what they are, and you want to have a choice, a chance to choose, email me at the 50 shades of bullshit @gmail with the SHYT. And I'll send you information. And then I'll get the link to you guys. And I'm also, for anybody in Los Angeles, I'm doing healing massages. And I'm also doing tarot reads, like a full session tarot read. And I could do a full session tarot read by video. So if They're normally $45 and I reduced them to $25. So if anybody wants a full tarot read and do it by video, again, email me at the 50 Shades or go to our Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Instagram. Send me a message and I'll send you a link to do a video chat for $25 to do a full tarot read. So, and those cards are fucking magical and they're amazing. So there we
Nice.
go.
Well, okay.
Well, today we are talking about clear to create. Okay. So this week, we invited back. Oh my God, this fucking microphone. We invited back a guest that has been here before that we absolutely love. But today we're going to discuss how to clear your story, how to clear your pattern, how to clear your cycle, your resentment, your loss, your space, to be able to create your life, your partnership, your confidence, and love. But you must first clear all to be able to create everything you want. So we are bringing back Riana Malia, and she is an accomplished transformation coach trained in Evolved Neurolinguistic Programming. That's ENLP. Quantum time release, QTR, and advanced trauma aware coaching, who empowers ambitious women to live a confident and trauma free life. Riana offers a balanced and effective path to healing and growth, and she helps women achieve their goals one step at a time. Let's welcome on Riana, because this woman is a badass and we love
And we love her. Hi.
Hello.
And she's absolutely stunning, aside from being a badass. So hi.
Oh,
I know, isn't she gorgeous? Hello, Riana. How are you?
Nothing like a good little hit of sisterhood.
I love sisterhood. Like truly.
Yay.
Welcome back to 50 Shades of Bullshit. We are so excited to have you.
Love being here with you girls.
I'm excited about the
we love
topic because there's so much that it can mean.
So let's talk about that. When you say clear to create, let's start with that. Let's talk about the basics of that, and then let's talk about, if you can, with us, what are some steps to be able to do that kind of process?
Absolutely. So my tagline for my company has always been your very best life, right? So my mission is always whoever I get the pleasure and honor of being in front of, whether it's having girlfriends or working with clients, I just want everyone to live whatever your version of your very best life is, right? But the truth is, to get there, you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to live my very best life. Because if you look at our lives, and you know, this is part of my trademark methodology, but if you look at my life, you know, and things just get blown up and shit goes crazy, and you have to clear to create. And so it became clear to me that it was part of the messaging that was so important to be able to share with people, because sometimes we get stuck. And it was such perfect of you starting to talk about your manifest and your fabulous packages. I love that, because all of those things that we want, right? Abundance and freedom and joy and peace and delight and love and all of that. In order to have space to create it, we have to clear that stuff away first. So, and we've talked in the past about quantum time release and my framework and how we kind of walk through that and we're able to do that in a way that's different than, you know, traditional type methodologies where we're spending a lot of time talking about the past and the story. Because while all of that is super beneficial, at a certain point, it just keeps that neurology really like front and center. And if we want, right, if we want a new story, if you want to tell a new story, you got to stop telling the old one. But in order to create that, we got to make space, right? So before we can create what we want, we do have to clear all that shit that's holding us back and keeping us stuck and in the past, in the story and in that longing, which is so often the thing that keeps us from manifesting, right? Is because we're so in that space of being sucked in, held back, held down, and just in the muck of all the things we don't want. And when we've, we've talked before about our thoughts, right? And this between the 65,000, 85,000 thoughts that we think every day, 90% of those babies are recycled. So they are the same thoughts that we thought yesterday and the day before, the week before, and in the middle of the night when we're laying there and it's 2:14 and we're like doing the math. And if we fall asleep right now, we can get 3 hours of sleep. And then, 3 hours go by and we're just like, son of a bitch. Like,
I hate that.
Stop.
It's worse.
It's the worst.
Mickey wants to know, how do we know what's holding us back?
It's a great question. Sometimes you know and you just don't really want to look at it. Sometimes you don't know and you need a little help. So a lot of times, so the work that I do, Mickey, is I dive into the other 90%, which is your unconscious mind. So 10% of our mind it's our goal setter. It's our critical faculties. We use it all day long. But the other 90% of us is our unconscious mind. And if the conscious is our goal setter, the unconscious is the goal getter. It's also the operating system. But most importantly, it is the literal library of every experience you've ever had in all the moments and years on this planet. So Mickey, for you, it's likely that there's stuff that's held in your unconscious mind, which is stored at a cellular level. And those are the things that often keep us stuck. And it can be stuff that you have conscious memory of or not. It can be stuff from age 0 to 7, where 90% of kind of our operating system comes from, which is wild. Because if you think about patterns or cycles that we kind of keep showing up in circumstances that, we find ourselves in, it's like, why do I keep ending up here, right? Whether it's in relationships or career, whatever, it's often from decisions and stuff that was made from 0 to 7. And it's wild because we got to go and, redo that programming.
Missy is saying, what if you're thinking about what you want to do daily, but don't seem to get any closer to getting it done?
So thinking about what you want to do daily is different than really focusing on what you want, right? So there's a distinction. So like, okay, what do I want to do today? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then we have strategy for everything, right? We have strategy that serves us well and strategy that's really dysfunctional, right? We have a strategy for shopping, for sex, for health, for wealth, for illness. Like that's how the brain knows what to do next.
Right.
And it's the dysfunctional strategy is the stuff that keeps us stuck and holds us back and keeps us from accomplishing and having the life that we actually want versus just continuing to wish for it. So the thinking about what you want to do daily and not getting any closer to getting it done, that's like a piece. I want you to think about, if you could break it down and not necessarily about the doing, but the being, if you think about like, what do you really want ultimately? And focusing on that and understanding that when you're in that space of like, oh, I was going to do this and here I did it again. I didn't do it. I did nothing today, or I didn't do what I said I was going to do. When you're blaming, complaining, or justifying, even when you're blaming yourself, you're in what I call affect, which means you're at the mercy of, at the victim of. It's a cycle that is just a bitch, because the longer you're in it and the longer you sit in it and the worse that you feel about yourself, the less that you get done. So teaching you how to like pull yourself out of that into what I refer to as being in cause, which is powerfully owning the situation and the circumstances. And if you really made a list, Misty, make just a quick list, 5 things that you really want, 5 things you really don't want. And when you find yourself in that yucky space, I promise you, you're thinking about the stuff you don't want and you didn't even know it. And it's the inverse, because you're thinking, okay, well, I don't want to procrastinate anymore. I don't want to be in this treadmill of not being productive. I don't want. And it's exactly why you are continuing to get that and why it's continuing to show up.
We're also not, a lot of people are not thinking about what there is a really strong distinction between negative thoughts and positive thoughts. And one of the exercises that I recently learned or heard about, which totally get this, is when you lay down to go to sleep at night, you tend to rehash all the things that happened in the day. And then you're also maybe also thinking about what you have to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're about to go to sleep for somewhere between 6 to 8 hours, and your brain is going to fester, percolate, and think about all the shit you did today and all the shit you got to do tomorrow. And it's not typically a positive thing. So the exercise that I've been taught was that when you go to bed at night, clear your mind of the stuff from the day, clear your mind from the stuff for tomorrow, and write down, like you just said, Riana, have a notebook or a notepad or something by your bedside. You write down 5 things you're grateful for and focus on those things as you drift to sleep. And those things are going to percolate in your brain for 6 to 8 hours. I mean, think about it. If you were boiling water or like trying to get water to be able to drink and you had to boil it to drink it, and you just kept dumping in a bunch of garbage, it's never going to clean out. You know, if you're just dumping it, start taking that stuff out, then you're going to have fresh water to drink. You know, that's a weird analogy because that's all my tired brain could think of. But you get an idea of what you mean.
I think too, there's something powerful about routine. So I think if you start to get in a routine and a habit of shutting things down early, maybe you do a meditation, maybe you silence your brain for a little bit or take a bubble bath or do whatever you need to do. Then when you go to sleep, I listen to sounds, like I listen to like chimes or something, and I don't even know what I've dreamt about. I mean, my mind is so clear by the time I go to bed, but I have such a good, powerful sleep. So maybe try little things along with what you're saying as far as silencing your mind and just creating a routine to where you're shutting your body and your thoughts down literally minutes, sometimes maybe 30 minutes before you go to bed.
Well, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all the questions coming in. And
There's a
1, 2, 3, like 4 of them are all asking, how do you figure out what you want? How do you do this? And, I don't think I realized how many people are actually unsure of what they want. And I don't think I understand that, because my desires for the things I want in my life are so strong that I guess I didn't know that some people had no idea. And I apologize for not knowing that.
It's really, really interesting. So I just did a workshop called the Aligned Attraction Workshop last weekend, where I walked people through some of my trademark work that I typically do with my private clients, where we create a soul connection codex, and then we create your aligned attraction blueprint. And while that particular conversation was around, romantic relationship, kind of attracting that person, getting really clear, I also have my clients use this in any relationship, friendships, business partners, whatever. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Getting really clear first on your values and doing an actual values elicitation. And when I say values, I don't mean anything that's related to anything religious. Oftentimes people have that connotation. I'm talking about the things at the core of who you are that are the most important, that without those, it could not be. So we start there. So it's a really fantastic, and if you need help with that, I have created an incredible guide called the Values Driven Decisions Guide, and I'll send it to all of you as my holiday gift. But if you got to get really clear on what that is, because if you don't, as we're seeing, right, evidenced by the chat, when you don't know, then you're never going to get it. So starting with values first, and then once we have that really clear, then we move on to 2 other parts. One is the non-negotiables list, and this is the deal breakers. This is the hard no. This is absolutely not to be compromised if that's present or not present, depending on the context, either about a person or a relationship. And then the desires list, which is the wish list. So when you have that clarity, you basically have your menu. And when you know who you are and what you want, then the universe can deliver, right? It's just like going to the restaurant and saying, hey, I would like to have a protein and some greens and a side. And then they bring you the pork chop, the spinach, and some sauteed mushrooms, but what you wanted was the filet and the asparagus and an arugula salad. You got what you ordered, not what you wanted. And then you're left disappointed, wondering why the table next to you got the meal that you want. All of those things that then become part of the narrative.
Yeah.
Anastasia says, is it bad to not know? I don't know if the word is bad.
Mhm.
Anastasia, it's not bad. That's such a strong, weird word, bad. It's like, what's good? What's bad? I think that you can tend to struggle and not get the order that you want in your life. Like Riana said, if you're not clear about what you want. And let's break it down simply. Tell me if I'm wrong, Riana. Wouldn't we want to, maybe when I manifest, let's start there. When I manifesting is about all the things I desire, all the things I'm going to say this in a way that I wouldn't normally say it. When I manifest, it's all the things I want in my life, but I manifest that it's already here, that I'm living in it. So when I'm driving in my car and I'm not doing an official manifesting, I'm manifesting anyway because I'm speaking. I'm driving and I'm talking to the universe. People think I'm probably talking to myself, but I'm talking to the universe, which is myself, quite frankly. I am a part of the universe. The universe is part of me. So when I do that, I say, man, I am so incredibly excited and blessed and thrilled that I have the lifestyle that I have always dreamed of. I have it. I have an abundant, massive amount of money in the bank that continues to flow every day, that gives me the choices in my life to be able to do the things I want to do and help the people I want to help. I'm so grateful that I have the most incredible man in my life who smothers me with incredible attention and love, just the right amount, not too much, but just the right amount that I can give back to him. You see what I'm saying? So I have this conversation with the universe and I say, I am grateful for it. And I don't just say one thing. I don't just say, I'm happy, I'm thrilled that I have money in my life. I speak about the money as if it's here, and that I'm already doing the shit I want to do with it. And when I break things down, I break down money, career, personal life, meaning a relationship with another like opposite sex, or with my friend, my sisters, my sisterhood. I break those things down and I think, what do I want for each one of those things? What do I really want? Do I want to live in a house, or do I want to travel the world? Do I want a fancy car, or do I want just a good solid SUV that carries everything for me? And I really think about the things I want. And I guess not everybody does that.
Not everybody does that.
Not everybody does that. Yeah.
Hang out with me, folks. You're going to be doing it any minute. Okay. I don't know. I just think that if you're not stopping for a minute to think about what your life should be like, what you deserve, what you desire, what you want. If you're not taking that time, you're doing yourself an injustice, because you're just floating. You're just floating on a big rock, paying rent, paying tolls, paying taxes, paying, striving, fucking working hard, making money, barely enough to get by. Why? Don't we want more for ourselves? Don't we want bliss and protection and love and safety and security and money to not wonder if there's going to be dinner on the table for Christmas? Or you know what I mean? Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Riana?
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of it's kind of like the backbone for our conversation today, right? So everything you just said, and if we break it down, and this might be helpful actually too, to have you guys think about this. So when we talk about, we have to clear the story to create your life.
Okay.
So again, what are the stories you're telling yourself, and what are the stories you're telling everybody else? How many times have you told the story about your divorce or about your boss or about like, and at some point you're going to get really sick of it. And then when you hit the point where you're like, oh God, I don't want to hear that anymore. It's a clue that you got to quit telling the story. So you got to clear all the story, right? Clear all the bullshit, clear all the drama, get rid of it to create the life that you actually want to be living. And the same with partnerships, right? We want that incredible love. And, you know, like I shared with you guys before, I had a crazy, pretty awful divorce. Never thought I would find my person. A little over a year ago, married the greatest love of my life and have all those things you were talking about, right? When you're talking in the car. And I had gotten clear some years ago and made these lists and threw it in a drawer and then found it maybe 3 months after Pete and I had gotten engaged. And I was like, oh my God, like there's 40 things on that list. 37 of them were my husband, and the big stuff and the little stuff. But we want these partnerships. We want the love. We want the friendships. We want the business partners. But you got to clear the patterns to create the partnerships. So you can't continue to do the same old stuff and expect you're going to have these incredible, strong, thriving, rich partnerships in life. And we have to clear the shoulds to create the cans, because how much time do we spend in, I should, blah, blah, blah. I should go to the gym. I should call Sally. I should. And that frequency and energy is so low and so yucky. And when you should all over yourself, all it is again, blaming and negative. And it's just this heavy, you make yourself wrong. It's the victim archetype. So if you can clear the should to create the can, which is, you know, also it can be, you know, I can do this. I get to. I'm so grateful that I get to do these things, right? Clear the asking to create the knowing. That comes with being able to trust ourselves and being able to trust our self and our decisions and our ability, so that, because when you're living in your highest values, like, you're like there, like you're a genius, you're in your flow, like you're in your, you know, badass, hell yes, amazing energy. But when you're not making values-driven decisions and you're not living in that space, you're constantly needing outside validation and you never know if, I don't know if I know. How do I know? I thought I knew. I don't know. Do you know? Like, it's that weird space. So you got to clear the asking, create the knowing. And then you got to clear the cycles to create the confidence. How many times we're like, I don't know if I'm enough, good enough, ready enough, smart enough, too much. How do we get rid of those cycles of the voice in our head, the old stories, the limiting beliefs, the limiting decisions, all the narrative, so that we can create the confidence? And hopefully this is helping with like some kind of categories and some things to think about of like, what is it? Like, where are you in your life and what is it that you actually want?
Right. I also think that you said something that kind of sparked something in my head. When you said something about what other people think about you, validations, things like that. Yeah. And I thought, you know, that's where I ams come in. You know,
I am enough.
I am enough. I am badass. I am healthy. I'm happy. I'm, you know, this magical being, you know, things like this it's you're getting your validation through yourself. And it's the self-love, self-care that we talk about so much on this show. I think those things are very important. That's like gratitude, I ams, and your intentions every day. It's like, what is your intention for the day? If you don't know what you want, how can you have the intent? You know? And for me, it started, you know, by starting to manifest slowly. You know, going through steps, and that's why when we talked about the beginning of the show, I was saying I have these manifesting kits, because when I just started slowly doing little rituals and little steps to manifest, which started teaching me about self-love, self-respect, self-knowledge, self-care. And then it started teaching me, oh, well, if I'm manifesting, what am I manifesting? So when I had a clear intent of what I wanted to manifest, like more money, a hot guy, sex for the night, I don't care, anything like that, then it would give me a thing to focus on. And then I started getting more clear about what I needed and what I wanted and what those desires meant for me. And I started realizing that it ties into all the things that I was growing up as a little girl and wanting and needing. And I realized, holy shit. So I thought growing up that I would be a photojournalist. That was what I really wanted more than anything in this world, was to be a photojournalist. And then it turns out I'm going to be spending the rest of my life, seeing the world. And I'm a documentary filmmaker, and I have created that for myself without knowing that I created it for myself, without having to go to college. And I should have, but I didn't. That was not my life's journey. And I found that it's things that, I needed and I wanted, and I didn't even realize it, but it looked different. The picture was different. And I didn't know until I sat back and looked at it and went, oh my gosh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, Christine, something that you just said stuck out to me, because when people have that clarity, and once you get clear and get all of the gunk out of your mind as far as not being enough, not feeling enough, not whatever your have-nots are, sometimes what you don't even know that you want is what shows up, and it's exactly what you want. But it's because you've been so fogged and just not clear that you haven't created the space or allowed the space for that beautiful thing to happen. And when it shows up, you're like, oh my God, this is so great. I didn't even realize I wanted it, but it's wonderful. But it all comes with getting that clarity. So that you made me think of that when you were talking.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. So, Riana,
Yes,
what are some steps do you think that can help with some direction? Because we can see here in our chat that people are looking for a little bit of direction. What's some basic, steps that just baby steps to start?
Yeah. I think the biggest baby step for every single person listening to this is really sit down and spend some time on figuring out what you like, what is the most important to you. Do a values elicitation. And if you don't know what that means, like I said, please take me up on grabbing. I would love to send it to you. And in fact, I'm pretty sure I could probably get a replay from the workshop that I did, which was 90 minutes, which is typically about $1,000 experience that I do with my private clients. And I would be happy to share that, because honestly, the intention for doing the workshop in and of itself was to give people these steps so that you could step into 2025 knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing, for the first time, maybe, what are those things that are your non-negotiables, that you're not going to compromise and make yourself fit into some box for some other person or some situation, or those red flags that come up that we ignore because we're just so worried that no one else is going to love us, or we're not going to find another job or another situation or whatever. And so, I mean, the simple steps that I would say would be that. Like, I would love to gift that to all of you, but you know, even before that, I mean, just spend some time with yourself and ask those questions. And I would sit and just free write all the things that come to mind when you think about the values for you, your life. And it can be in general, it can be about relationship, it can be about whatever. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take that whole list. And if there's more than 10, then I want you to take and just order the top 10. And the reason is anything below 10 isn't really one of your highest values. It can usually get clumped into something else, or it might not even be a value. It might be a desire, it might be a non-negotiable, it might go somewhere else. But here's the really powerful, cool thing about that is once you do that, Now, depending on where you are in life, sometimes our values change. Sometimes the hierarchy of our values change, except the top one. The top one will never, ever change. And then this is where it kind of gets trippy and cool. So let's say you're in a relationship and you're not really sure, like something's off. You don't know what it is. If you go to your top 10 values and you ask this question, and it's going to be very confusing and it's on purpose. What percentage not blank is in my relationship right now? And you're like, wait, what? So let's say your highest value is trust. What percentage of not trust is in your relationship right now? And it's a quantum linguistics question because you have to think about it in a specific way. But if you go through and analyze that, anything above like 35%, there's your answer. And it's super powerful.
Great.
Yes. So again, like really having that, and this becomes your touchstone, you guys. Like this becomes an asset that you can literally make decisions from for every relationship, person, circumstance that comes into your life. So the values piece is first, and then take the next step. What are your non-negotiables? And these are like the absolute hard no's. These are your non-negotiables, and I want you to live and die by them because again, it's going to help with, beautifully creating and maintaining and holding boundaries, and expertly communicating your needs, and trusting yourself, right? And falling in love with yourself, and having the ability to take these things and this knowledge and this knowing, and again, really get to deepen the richness in every relationship that you have, right? Friends, family, kids, spouses, work people. It just changes the game because you're not living in that, where all of that like nauseating, exhausting, the noise and the friction and the drama from the decision fatigue of not knowing, right? When we don't have the clarity, then we are just drained by it all. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. So while you were talking, Riana, so our little group here that comes and hangs out with us each week, we love so much. I tend to do a lot of group reads, and they get very excited about it. And it's very funny because I was shuffling with the intent of thinking, what does the collective in this here right now need to know to be able to find what they want and move forward in a positive way to start getting the life they deserve?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull my camera. Let's see if this works. If you'll see here, I pulled these. See this? I pulled the cards. They're right there. So I'll pull them up individually. And they go so much with what you were saying. It's crazy. So this is the first thing. And this card right here is showing that the universe is handing you everything you want. But this guy right here, do you see this guy? He's got his eyes closed and his arms crossed and his legs crossed, and he's got all these cups in front of him, and he sees none of it. It means that y'all have to start doing some more healing, which is thinking about what you want and how you want it. And on top of that card shows the world at your feet. It means you can have what you want when you take the time to find yourself, heal, and know what you want. The next one over shows that this is a balance between your life, finding the balance of what you want and what you need and what that desire is, and focusing on that will bring like abundance. She is the mother of abundance, and the world again. Love, money, relationships. It's everything. It's literally the wheel of fortune. It's absolutely everything you desire. And the one below that supports it is a freaking celebration of a win, a big win of a celebration. But it says that you are self-sabotaging yourselves. You're self-sabotaging yourselves because sometimes this is somebody else sabotaging you. Okay. For some of you, it could be somebody backstabbing you. Maybe you're trying to do something and they're talking shit behind your back. But this conversation today is really about ourselves. So it's like, stop self-sabotaging. Stop talking about yourself in a bad way. Stop putting yourself down. Stop thinking you don't know where you want in your life. Everybody knows what they want if they take a minute to find it. And the last one is meditation. This is the meditation card. Sit within yourself and you have everything you need when you focus on you. That is
wild.
That's wild.
That is very wild. What was the question that came through when you were reading? Somebody wanted to know something.
How do we decide what and in what order should we put things in this list? What comes to mind first? What comes to mind first? When I wrote my, I got a reading this last couple of days. I got a reading for myself from somebody else. And she told me to go home and write 20 things of all the things I wanted in like a relationship or a man. And I just immediately just wrote 1, wrote 2, wrote 3. And that is going to tell you. That is going to tell you what comes first. Integrity for me in a person comes first. It just came right out. It says, does it matter if the cards are upside down? Yeah, it means the opposite. But what's funny is that all the cards pointed towards y'all. So it looked upside down for me, but it was for you guys. It all pointed to you. And the only one that was upside down was the one that I said was the self-sabotaging. That's why I said self-sabotaging, because if it was the other way, it was probably somebody sabotaging you. But this conversation, it was saying you do it yourselves.
I love it.
Isn't that wild? These cards are so good.
Love it.
I'm getting better every day.
Do you have, Riana, your website or where people can reach you specifically in case they want to reach out and do something private with you or
absolutely. So the website is rianamalia.com, which is RianaMalia.com. There is tons of information on there, and there's lots of cool stuff about the protocol and all the science. And then there's also a gifts page where you can go and grab that journal that I was talking about. It's there, Values-Driven Decisions.
I love that.
There's also one that's called Falling in Love with Yourself Again, which is phenomenal.
I love that.
Take advantage of this, guys.
Yes. And then you also have the ability, because you are the best listeners ever of these two women, that you get to book a complimentary call with me as a part of being on this show. You guys all get access to that.
I love it. Take advantage, everyone.
Because typically it's a $200 call, but because you are the listeners of Jada and Christine, then you get to, that's my gift to you.
I love that.
Yes. And on the socials, Riana Malia, Instagram, Facebook.
MIALA?
Yep. RIANAMALIA. And then specifically, if anybody's out there and you want that workshop that I just did, that I said was that $1,000 experience that I do with my private clients, you can DM me, you can find me on Instagram, send me an email, send me whatever, and just tell me you want the replay, and I would just be so happy to send that to you. And I'll send you the workbook too, so you have it all.
So now you guys have no excuse to say,
literally none.
I don't know what I want. Because when you start taking steps towards thinking about it, putting things into action, actionable things create the life you want. And when somebody's handing you a free gift of knowledge and assistance and guidance, take it, guys. Please take it. We do this show for people all out there like you. We want to be able to reach people to say, hey, how can we help you live your fucking best life?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Let us help you do that. Take advantage of Riana. And don't take advantage of Riana. Take advantage of Riana's. I'm sure her husband will have a problem with that. But take advantage of this gift.
Yes.
Go to her website, check it out, and have the opportunity to take steps to your life. It's your life. We only get a limited time on this cycle of life. This time around, I believe in reincarnation, so I'm coming back. I've been here, I've been there. This journey, I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want to be alone and sad and tired. I don't want to have a question of, what do I even want? I don't want to be, I'm turning 57 in 3 months. 50 fucking 7. And I don't want to sit the rest of my life miserable and sad and not knowing anything and not feeling like I've had a success. If I died tomorrow, would I be able to look at somebody across, the table from me, reevaluating my life? Would they say, "Are you satisfied?" I'd be saying, "I'm close. I'm getting there. I'm doing the work. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting there." And I want that for everybody. Let's say yes when we have that.
Yes.
So
thank you, Riana. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's always such a pleasure to be here with you.
We love you. Seriously. Someone at Country Corners Gazette said they followed you on Facebook. Yay.
Amazing.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Follow 50 Shades of Bullshit, Instagram, Facebook. Find us, watch us. When you listen to us on iHeartRadio and Spotify and anything else, like it, share it, give us a 5-star review because we're fucking fabulous. And have a
happy holidays.
Christmas, everybody.
Yay.
We're back next week. Jada and I are going to give you some tools and tricks for the new year. And we're going to be here same time, same place next week. So thank you, Riana, for being here.
Thank you.
Until then, everybody, keep this shit real. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends. Like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.